All right, my friends, we are outdoing ourselves today here. Ian Lozon, Master Home Inspector at Timber Point Home Inspection out here at Ecoline Windows and Doors, of course. What we're looking at here is not the world's largest house. No, this is a condo building. 142 windows that are getting replaced with this building. So it's a big job. We got 4 crews here today. So that's a lot of guys, that's a lot of windows. It's gonna be a lot of drills, a lot of saws, everything's gonna be happening here. So the reason why we're doing this, a lot of companies out there, especially smaller outfits, that if you're considering projects like this, if you're a project manager, condo manager, something like that, this would take weeks to do this kind of project. So these guys are going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and be done Friday. Finito, time to go home. So that's how we can do it. It's not going to take anything longer than that. So that's going to be really impressive to see that transition. This building, I think, is probably built, just by my estimations, in the, I'm going to say, late 1950s, something like that. We'll get a date on it if we can, but that's my guess, just based on the brickwork and also kind of the style of the windows and the style of the building. So we'll see if I'm right. So we're going to go check out some of these windows, see if we're dealing with some original windows or windows that have already been replaced, and we'll talk about why we have to replace them again and why we will never replace them again after this week. Come with me. Okay, I'm having a little look at these windows here. So what we're looking at here is a metal frame screen and also a single pane sash, like a single hung sash that's been added in front of the original, what appears to be wood frame windows, which should also be a single pane window. So a lot of energy efficiency issues that are going to be related to these windows, given the fact they're single pane, and really kind of just more adding in comfort to people just being able to have a screen open, because these other windows might not have screens in them. You can see all the caulking that's been put on over the years. It's quite deteriorated. It's all dirty. There's cracking going on. So these are well beyond their expiry date, I would say. Really energy inefficient, not very secure, not very safe, really easy to break into. And when you're downtown, especially on ground floor, level spaces, you want to make sure that you have really well secured windows, just to not only prevent anyone from coming in, but even just prevent anyone from looking at them and thinking that it's an option. If they see an Ecoline window, they're going to say, no, that looks too hard for me to go break into that. Yeah, they're going to go to, what's that?
We tried.
We've done that. And if we're actually trying to commit crimes, I think we're going to go for the easy targets. I think that's kind of how criminals work. They're not stupid that way. So they're going to know these Ecoline houses. I think they've already started putting them in their phones and their GPS, knowing like, okay, this is Ecoline house, this is Ecoline house. They're like, forget it. They're telling everybody else, don't bother with those houses. It's a waste of your time. So they're going to come to places like this where they can easily get in. So it's not only just for comfort, but also for security when we're talking to places like this. So we'll start taking all this kind of stuff off. Our installers are poor installers. These guys, this is going to be a bitch to do this project. There's going to be a lot of metal, a lot of cutting. It's just going to be very nice for us to see, to be honest. This is a good day to be a watcher, not a doer. So can't wait to get started. All right, so I'm here with
Kathy Butler.
Kathy. Okay, Ian, nice to meet you.
Ian, nice to meet you.
Yep. So she is one of the co-owners of this building. So it's been deemed with the heritage status, is what she was telling me earlier. Mm-hmm. So the building was built around 1947, so just after the Second World War. And the interesting part about this building is that it's actually a brick construction. This is not a wood frame that you would typically see in Calgary. So it's actually fully structurally bricked, which makes it really interesting for installing windows, because when we're measuring the windows and when we're taking out the windows, we don't want to damage the brick. And we also have to make sure that everything is measured quite perfectly, because we cannot cut into the brick all that well. As opposed to wood frame, we can kind of shim stuff. So we're going to really see what our installers are capable of doing, and also what our measurement people were able to do. So we want to make sure everything fits.
And I'll take that even one step further. We have to spend a lot of time with the city as a heritage resource,
okay,
for exactly what the window can look like. Like double hung, we can't change the nature of it. We couldn't change
have casement
the
windows
inside. Exactly, you can't pop it out and put a whole new thing in. The molding, the wood molding on the inside has to stay intact, even the centerpiece. So all of that was a big part of the program with, and Anastasia worked through that with me.
So when it came to choosing Ecoline, was it because they were able to meet all of those requirements? Or it's not just about the windows, it's about the installation, it's about dealing with the sales lady, that she's able to coordinate with everything like that?
Yeah, she was excellent to deal with. She visited the site with me several times.
Yes.
She was patient with our timeframes to wait with the city, with the Heritage Department, and rejig and shift and change and pivot and double check. So it was all those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that kind of separates Ecoline from a lot of window companies. It's not just one contractor coming in with their one trailer and looking at this project and be like, oh yeah, we can do that. And you get started and it's like, no, they're not capable of doing any of this. And then they're not meeting the city requirements. And then next thing you know, you kind of have a bungled project. So. Well,
and it's very nerve-wracking financially and physically.
Right.
To have a project of this size with a building of this nature and not have it done properly.
Well, we're really excited to be here because this is kind of a one in a lifetime thing, I think, for a lot of people around this kind of industry.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of heritage buildings in Calgary.
No, and one thing I wanted to mention is replacing the windows. Has it been something you want to do for a long time? Are you noticing issues recently that are kind of leading you more to replacing them up now? Because I noticed that they are the original windows on the inside, and then there's a retrofit kind of metal cladding / other additional window that's been installed.
It's a requirement under the residential tenancy agreement and AHS to have X pane and so much efficiency. So we have been slow to change. We did a couple tests just to see how it would work. Tenants have condensation and other issues, but it's, again, such an expensive project. And so we've been looking at trying to do it since before COVID. And then
now
I met Ecoline and the process went well, and so here we are.
Okay, so then let me tell you this. Once this is done, no more new windows. Okay? We're going to be done for another 100 years.
25 years, hopefully.
No, more than 25 years, I'll guarantee that. But so they're going to get started here right away. So those black windows, were those ones that were
the test ones.
Test windows.
Where we wanted to make sure the heritage planning was in place, like this is what they're going to look like. The black on the outside, I did want to go black everywhere. And that the inside worked with the wood moldings, and that no more condensation and everything worked. So those were the tests.
Okay. Well, that's all good to know. These guys are going to get started, and if we see some cool things, we'll be sure to show them around. And you'll have to show me some cool things about this building too, if there is something interesting for everyone to see. Okay, we're going to get started then.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
This is a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys standing around doing nothing right now. We need to get to work here. So we're going to sort out all these little details and get these guys up on their feet. There's too much sitting around right now. Looks like we're waiting for the bus or the C train or something. It's not going to last for long. So when we're doing our regular projects, smaller houses, maybe a townhouse or something like that, we might have 1 or 2 crews. So maybe 2 to 4. If we're doing larger windows, we might do maybe 6 or 8 guys, depending on how high or heavy the windows are. When we're doing a building like this, it's 142 windows. We want to get all hands on deck here. That's kind of where Ecoline separates itself. They can, dispatch more crews and coordinate everything so that we can do these big projects in a few days. It'll get done in the same amount of time as it does to take our house. We're going to do this whole building in 4 or 5 days. So once we get started, things will start moving, and you'll see progress right away. And it's going to be cool to watch because you're going to have a lot of guys moving around and a lot of coordination. This is going to take a lot of effort to make everything kind of move. And once we get started, once we're done sitting around having our cigarettes and coffee, then we can get to work. And I can't wait for that to happen because I hate sitting. We got to, let people know who you are and what you do here, right? I see you got an Ecoline shirt on, but I know who you are, but tell the world.
Yeah, I'm Anastasia, project manager at Ecoline Windows. I'm with Ecoline for almost 6 years, and today is one of my biggest projects for my history at Ecoline. I'm worried, but very excited to see the results.
Yeah, so this isn't just our regular houses that we go into. We see the same windows, the same doors all the time. This is a heritage building. There's a lot of coordination required between just, with the building owners to make sure that they're on the same page so we can maintain that heritage status. So how was that process for you? I know that must have been different for you.
Very different. It was very exciting. I was working with the owner of the building and a very smart woman, very interesting project itself. Required a few extra steps to confirm different things, designs and opening for this house. Number of things, but I think we've done everything pretty well and looking forward for the results and fingers crossed.
Ready to get it started and then even more ready to get it done and see the final result. The building owner also mentioned, how great of a job you did, that you've been showing up multiple times to this project just to make sure that everything is going well, not just making phone calls or sending texts.
Oh, no.
You always got to be in person. If you're people out there looking to get into sales and do this kind of work, you got to show up. You got to show your face. You got to let people know that you actually care, that you're not just going to be, sign the contract and then go off to Tahiti and enjoying some Mai Tais, right?
Nice.
We're going to do that after. Okay, so, Anastasia's doing a great job. She's going to be hanging around here today. And hopefully you're going to start kicking these guys in the ass and get them working because, they're doing a lot of standing around. I don't know what's going on.
I'll go find a stick and let the show start.
She's good for that. All right. We're talking about the plan to attack this building in the most efficient way. So what we're going to be doing is setting up scaffolding along one story of windows. So the first, second floor, third floor. We're going to do the third floor, the second floor, the first floor. Then we're going to move that scaffolding over and just keep going all the way around the building. We have some car issues, some parking issues on the back side of the building. So we're going to let the tenants know they got to move their cars by Wednesday so then we can get out and put scaffolding up in the parking lot. So I think we're going to be focusing on the front of the building today and getting up and seeing what works best. But I know these guys, people are like, oh, they can't do that. They can't. I'm like, no, they're going to get it done. It's going to move. And it better because I'm going to start shining up my shoes here because I'm kicking some guys in the ass. You know what I'm saying? All right, now we're rocking and rolling here. So we got a trailer full of windows, scaffolding, everything that we need. We can't be wasting time going back to Home Depot today. That's not this project, trust me. Although you can buy Ecoline windows at Home Depot. So if you got a condo building, walk into Home Depot and buy yourself some 142 windows. Look at this. We got a black outside frame and then we got white on the inside. So these are, what are these? Looks like we got
hung
windows. Okay, so we have double pane Ecoline windows here. People might be wondering, okay, why not go triple pane? But with a project like this, it's 142 windows. If you're going to add that extra pane of glass, it's going to increase your costs, and it's already going to be quite an expensive project. Look at all the people that we have here already. So if you wanted to go triple pane, great, but double pane is still going to be it's still going to be a great upgrade from what we have currently, which is basically shit. So to go to triple pane from double pane, yes, there is a difference, but it's still going to be a really good quality window and still going to get lots of comfort, lots of energy efficiency. It's going to look really beautiful. And that's what we're focused on primarily. We want to have nice, beautiful windows, but maintain that heritage piece that the city wants, that the building owner wants. So to go to that triple pane level, I don't think it's necessary for a project like this. It's going to add a little bit too much more cost, and I think double pane is still a really good, high quality window, and that's kind of where I would see this project going if I was in charge of it as well. So I think it's a good choice. It's Ecoline windows, so you're not going to go wrong. I think if Ecoline made single pane windows, I think they'd still be dynamite. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right, this is what the advantage of having a bunch of guys on site here is. We can get things done really quickly. So we just started a couple minutes ago. We're already going up high. So we're setting up scaffolding. So when we're setting up scaffolding, we're gonna put our two side portions on, and then we use these cross braces, which are these metal X's you see. Those help keep the scaffolding together. And then we have our platforms on top. So when you're building a scaffold, you kind of build one at a time, and then you go up keep building and keep adding, and you can go up as high as you can. Once you get up to the 3rd floor, then you want to start bracing into the building. So at this height, I think they'll be okay. They don't want to need to brace it, but they're going to use those leveling feet to make sure that everything's level, that we're sitting nice and secure, that no one's gonna, we're not gonna have any accidents. Looks like they're having fun.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah, you gotta have fun. How do you not have fun? Look at this. This is like a kid's dream. Playing on the jungle gym like this. So the scaffold's going up. We got some wood blocks underneath the ground. That helps to level off the scaffold. Also protects the ground from getting damaged and keeps because you're gonna have a lot of weight on this scaffold, keeps the ground from pushing you down, which could damage it and also reduce the structural integrity of this scaffold system that they're building here. So got to keep things safe. This is one way to do it. And they're almost at the top, and then once they're at the top, they can start getting the tools ready, start cutting out windows, get the real work starts.
Dark hole, eh? Dark hole.
Yeah, I like it.
Creepy.
This is where you get your mail. Put that in there. All your letters, your love letters you're sending across the world. You know, war just ended in 1947. Probably got a few girlfriends back in France so they can write to you and, you know, just tell you how their life's going. Still works. Look at that. How old is that? Almost 80 years old? Still works. It's a nice place. Old pine floors, real wood casings. Beautiful. Aha, here we are. Here's the old windows. Here's the old casing that they're gonna keep. All the moldings, everything, it's all from 80 years ago. So to maintain the heritage status with the city of Calgary, they've requested that this stays in place because they don't build things like this anymore. They don't use real wood when they're doing casings and moldings. So that's how you maintain kind of the history of the building. And then you can see here we have our old wood windows in here, and then we have our retrofit metal windows that were installed maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago or something like that. So the windows are coming out, but this is all staying in place. So this will be cool to see how they have to do that. You can see there's a little stick here holding up this sash. So I'm assuming if I take that stick out, yeah, that's gonna come right down. So you can see here, there's a mechanism, kind of a, I guess an older style spring system. When you have windows that were built prior to the 1940s, 1950s, the windows were actually on a rope and weight system. So there was a weight inside the window, and it was connected to a rope that was tied into the sash. And that kind of counterweight they're really cool to see. I hope we get to see them one day. But that's kind of how the window went up and down. So this system here is kind of an older style spring system, kind of what they use in modern windows, but a little bit different. But you can see the springs are kind of, or the sliding portion is not really working anymore. So this window will kind of always kind of just gravity will take it down. So another reason why it's getting replaced. But I guess in the short term, you can just use a little piece of wood to hold it up. But yeah, that's kind of how they were building things back then. And then these older, the retrofit is just kind of another sliding single hung window. Just basically add in a little bit more energy efficiency, but you can see how tired they're looking. It's all dirty and dusty, and you know, the metal gets really cold in the wintertime, passes a lot of that cold into the space. So not really energy efficient anymore. So they need to get replaced. And we're gonna have an older building and a heritage building, but with more modern conveniences, modern windows, keep the heat in. That's what it's all about. As you can see here, just because it's a big project doesn't mean that we're gonna skip any steps. So we're gonna cover up all the furniture when we're working around the windows. We're gonna do that with every unit. So I think there's almost 20 units or something in this building, maybe even more. We're gonna cover them all up, protect everyone's belongings so that when these guys are done in an hour or two here, people get their space back. It's like they were never here. And that's what you're gonna, people are gonna notice that. You know, they're thinking, okay, we've got a renovation going on in my house. Oh, it's gonna be a mess. You're gonna have dust everywhere. No, that's not happening with Ecoline. So you know, good for these guys. Not a fan.
What's your hands?
Yeah, well, I see they got the block there too. No shortage of wood in this place. I don't really need to say much about these windows. I think we know that they're fairly energy inefficient and they're well beyond their lifespan. So get them out, get the new ones in, and move on with our life. This is nice. Get to hang out up here, read some books, have a few drinks, have some friends over, hang out, enjoy the town before you go out. Yeah, I like it. I think this door has seen some better days. You can see the little wood just peeling off. It could definitely use a refresh at any rate, but I would recommend replacing it as well. You can see it's got just a single pane of glass in there, really energy efficient. You can see all the water damage, the wood damage here. So maybe this door's coming out, but I'm sure it will eventually one day. But again, this is a good opportunity for Ecoline that if you got them out already, hey, let's get some new doors going in here. Hey, if you got the budget for it, make it happen. I can say one good thing about these windows is that the screen is really nice. It's a real metal screen, pretty indestructible. Even a cat couldn't really beat that up too bad. So, you know, if you're a renter, you don't have to pay the damage deposit back because you had to replace the screen. So, I guess that's a bonus. Maybe find a way to repurpose it somehow. You can see all the metal coming off. So that was put on it at another point. And then you have all your wood that's preserved almost essentially. Not a lot of water damage to the original wood because of that cladding. So it did its job. But you can see here, our original window was just a single pane window. So you can imagine on a really cold day, back in the day, that it would be pretty freezing in these places because you got no energy efficiency at all. So it'd be, you know, your boiler system would have been running full blast, full steam ahead. And then this piece of glass was added in after to kind of retrofit and maybe add in a little bit of comfort. But to be honest, I don't really think it did much. So as you can see here, we're working on multiple floors at once here, which is good. And they're getting ready to take out our top floor window. We're still taking some cladding off on the second floor. I like it. This is exciting for me. I love seeing these kinds of projects where, you know, it takes a lot of coordination. It's not just someone showing up and like doing, you know, a single job. This is a real effort. Everyone's got to be on the same page. You can't just be like rinking dinking it. Like you got to really know what you're doing. So this is cool. This is not, every other company cannot do this. I can guarantee you that. And the people that have tried this, I'm sure they know. So now you know, Ecoline is a good option for sure. So if these guys are complaining about heights, that guy's got to be on another planet right now. He's just hanging off that wire. That's crazy. He's just washing the bricks. I don't even know what he's doing. Maybe no one even told him to go up there. He's just doing it on his own. Maybe it's just like a fun thing he likes to do.
Yeah,
it's like a Spider-Man. Lots of ingenuity around here. Look at this little stick here.
Technologia.
Works just fine. Man, these things are junk. Like the old windows, I think are great. These retrofit things, just really poorly built. Holy cow. Stick works. That's a nice piece of window right there. You know, this thing would have lasted forever, to be honest, if it wasn't just a single pane of glass. But you know what? Funny thing what people will do actually is they'll reuse these old frames and they'll put a mirror glass in there, and they'll hang this in their bathroom or something like that. So these frames can get reused, repurposed for different little projects. So it's always something to hold around. Don't have to necessarily throw it in the garbage. Look at this piece of glass. So there was no shortage of glass around back in the day. You can see how thick that is. Modern glass is probably half the thickness of that. But when you think about how a window is engineered and designed, when you're thinking about like a double or triple pane window, you have multiple panes of glass, and in between those panes of glass, is gas, argon gas. It's an inert gas, so it's a really good insulating quality. When you got a single pane window, that's why they're using really thick glass to just help increase that or reduce that heat loss. But at the end of the day, it doesn't do as much as the modern windows are engineered. So pretty cool, to be honest. It's heavy. These windows would have been really, really heavy if they were one piece. All right, as you can see here, cutting out the frame of this window opening. We're not touching the actual structural frame of the window, the original wood frame. So this is going to be a retrofit installation where we're going to be installing a specific type of Ecoline window that will fit into this existing opening, and then we're going to put cladding along the new metal cladding on the outside of the original wood frame again. So it's going to be that enhanced energy efficiency, but also maintaining the old part of the house, of the building. We were dealing with a retrofit installation. It's more time consuming than I would even thought of. So they have to take out all the different little components of the old window, but still keeping the frame intact. This is why it's taking a lot longer. It's taking almost an hour just to do this one window. So that's where the extra work is. That's why the more guys, the larger crew. But once they get the hang of it, they're gonna go a lot quicker. So you can see we've kept in place the old wood casings and moldings and everything like that. Everything is in place still. So that way we can maintain that heritage look, and we'll be inserting our new Ecoline window here in a second, and then doing our modern ceiling around that window, and then we'll put in the metal cladding afterwards, and it'll look absolutely dynamite, I can guarantee you that. As you can see, we have one of our windows roughly installed. It's just waiting to be fastened in, but you can see that it fits in place here. So it butts right into these the older moldings, and that's where this is all going to be kept preserved in state. And then on the outside, we'll be installing new cladding, so everything will look nice and refreshed, but still maintaining that heritage balance between old and new, which is what the building owners are looking for. So this is a good step so far to be able to get to this point and see how it all fits into place, and looks like it's all gonna work. So what we're doing here is normally we shim and block our window from the inside, but since we're not removing this molding and the sill, the old sill, we're doing it from the outside, and also because it's a retrofit, we're able to put the cladding on this side, so we're gonna be able to cover up that area anyway. So we're gonna be leveling it, shimming it all from the outside, then spray foaming from the outside as well, and then putting our cladding on. So it's kind of an opposite way of normal how we do things normally from the inside. But in this case, because it's a special project, we're doing it this way. Low density spray foam, and we're doing it in a nice, safe manner, safe as you can be. This guy has no fear, I swear to God. And getting it all the way around the window, that's gonna seal up nicely for the air leaks. We're not gonna have any issues related to that. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our cladding on, and then that'll be done. And then we're gonna move our scaffolding over as the day goes on, and just keep doing the same process over and over again. All right, is this a transformation or what? Look at that. Remember earlier, we need a stick? You know, look at the people that live here, they're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna be walking in, putting in these sticks to hold up their windows, and then guys gonna take a stick away. Oh, wait a second. It just stays in place. Look at this. We want to clean it. Oh my God. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is the new world. So this is old meets new. And I'm sure that Ecoline is very happy to be part of this project. I know that I'm happy. I feel very privileged to be here, to be part of something like this. It's really, really interesting. It's not just a regular house or something like that. And another quality installation. So now we just got to do this another 142 times, and then we'll be out of here. Today's today's Friday, so it's a get the fuck out of the way day for these guys. We've had lots of fun here. We're ready to wrap this sucker up and get on for the weekend. I think that's the motivation around here today. Get it done. All right, as you can see, this window's pretty beat up, and there's no spring in there, so you kind of set it, but I would not trust it. Again, everybody in this building's got their trusty sticks, their little prop sticks. I think one of our installers was kind of half taking this screen out and then just said, "The hell with it." You know, these guys have been chiseling away at these windows all week long, and I can understand their frustration. So the guy's like, "You know what? I'm just going to work on this window instead. Come back to this one when I can gather myself, and then get back to it." So I think we're on the last side of the building. So we've been here since Monday, and just incredible work to see all the progress that's been done. They've working, 8-9 hours a day, 10 hours a day on this project, trying to get it all finished so that the tenants can get their building back for the weekend. And with other companies, there's just no way. Like I mentioned before, there's no way that you're going to get this done in a week, let alone 2 weeks, let alone a month for a lot of people. So this is why Ecoline is the #1 choice for this kind of project for sure. And you can see how it's all coming together here. So one banged up screen at a time. We're gonna get this all out of here. I know that personally, if I was working on this project, I don't know. I don't think I would have lasted. I think I would have had to take a break. I think I would have called in sick or, try to hurt myself so I don't have to work the next day, because this is tough work. This is not easy. All right, we have one of our completed windows. So now we've installed the retrofit window. We've repaired all the damage that was there, and we installed our new metal cladding. So it's all custom metal cladding. Everything's cut and bent on site and then installed. So that's again another advantage of the window. Ecoline, they have all this kind of equipment in their trailers in their on site here, so they can do all this work. They don't have to contract it out to somebody or order a bunch of different materials. They can do everything here. They all have that kind of skill, which is really impressive. This kind of work is not easy. It's a lot of measuring and bending, and you got to know angles, and you got to know how to cut things properly. So it's really talented work. And so when it's finished, we finish it off with some caulking here. So you can see we can put some black caulking along the bottom, along the sides, along our joints, prevent any water from coming in. And you can see this is what a completed section looks like, and it looks fantastic. I can see how that matches kind of the heritage aspect that the building owners were going for. Blends in well with the brick, and this nice stone sill there looks really good. So it's really impressive. I mean, it looks like a brand new window, but it's in reality, it's actually just been keeping the old frame and then using the new technology, the new Ecoline replacements, the new sashes to fit in, and everything looks really, really nice. And they've done this on all the way around the building in the last 4 days, and really good. Really looks impressive. The blinds are back on some of these units, so I'm sure everyone's happy to have a winter coming and knowing that they're going to be a little bit more comfortable in their unit this year. Photo transformation. This side of the building had those old awnings on. There's old metal awnings. Didn't work anymore. We don't need that anymore. We don't need to worry about blocking off the sun as much. These units aren't going to get hot anymore, given the fact that we have the new Ecoline windows in place. And it's just incredible. Looks so awesome. The consistency and the quality is the same with every window. It's not like there's one bad one that sticks out. They're all the same. They're all really well done. And that's what you're looking for. If you have a project like this out there, you have your own building, maybe even a larger building, it can be done. Ecoline can get it done for you, no problem. And I love it. It looks just incredible. The transformation from those old windows to what we have now. It's really going to last. This building's going to last another couple hundred years, I'd imagine. And I think those Ecoline windows are going to go along with it. We have a window that's been installed. We haven't put the cladding on yet on this one. So they've just finished spray foaming it. So you can see that when we typically do these videos, in a regular house, we spray foam from the inside. Given the nature of this installation, and we're preserving all the casing, we didn't take any casing off, we're spray foaming it from the outside. So they go all the way along the window, and that's what's going to seal up from all those air drafts and keeping the window nice and warm in the wintertime. So that's why we're doing it now. And then once this is set, then we can put our metal cladding on, like we'll see in a little bit here. And that's all you need to do. Here we go. So we've got some metal in our bending machine. We measure it, we can cut it, and we're going to slide it back into the machine. and we'll be able to give it a nice clean bend. That's it. It's easy.
Well, it looks easy and sounds easy.
For them, yeah. This would take me hours to figure it out. Look at that. I mean, the change that people these renters these tenants that are living here, when they come in and they go to grab their stick and they're like, fuck, I can't open my window. Where's my stick? I don't have my stick anymore. I can't, how's it gonna stay open? And then they're just doing this. It must be blowing away. Look at that. Lock it up. Wait till they see this move. Like that. These people are living in the past. Now they're living in the future. I love it. So as we're installing this metal cladding, we'll start with the bottom, then the sides, top, then we'll do a middle section here. So there is a process to it. It's not just like slap it all up and throw some caulking on it and call it a day. You got to be thinking about it the whole time. What's going to be next? Kind of putting together a little puzzle.
Hello, sir.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap up our project here. It's an absolutely phenomenal project to be part of, really. It's just incredible work these guys are doing. I cannot believe that they did this in 5 days. They still got a little bit of work to do, but I think they're going to get it done. Lovely brickwork. Reminds me of back home there in London. There's absolutely phenomenal stuff there. So I think that's going to wrap things up for today. Again, it's just an amazing project. See Ecoline Windows do all this kind of work, and I'm just absolutely flabbergasted by it, really. Absolutely flabbergasted. It's absolutely exceptional work. So I think I'm gonna head off on my way, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the next building. Hopefully even a bigger, larger building that'd be even more impressive. So see you later. Off I go.